Okay, so this is going to be our quick no-nonsense primer on getting these G3 wireless units that you have at DFA up and running. And this is what you'll use for your assessment. I'll expect you to just go through this order of operations and be able to get these up and running. So we have two units here. One is a transmitter and one is a receiver. You can tell these apart by flipping them over on the back. This one has transmitter written. This has a receiver written here, but I've placed a little bit of Velcro over it. You can also tell them apart by looking at the top of them. This transmitter here has mic line to put a microphone into it and the little mute switch, whereas the top of the receiver looks slightly different and it has this AF out right here for sending a signal to the mixer. So to get started with these, you take your receiver first. You have these two little plastic tabs here. Press them both at the same time, open up the battery compartment. You'll notice that both of the batteries here go the same way, so it's positive, positive. To turn this on, we're going to press our on-off button. See how you have 4 buttons here, on-off, up-down for the menus, and set. You're going to press and hold on-off. This will turn the unit on. You're going to notice this screen that you have right here. It tells you your frequency up here, as well as 2 meters for your RF signal and your audio signal, and a battery indicator. So the first thing we're going to do is press set to enter the menus, and we're going to move around in the menus, pressing these up and down arrows. We're going to go to advanced first. The reason why we're going to do this is we're going to scroll in advanced to reset. This is going to say no, we want it to say yes, and we're going to press set. What's going to happen now is this unit is going to be reset to factory settings. And this will help you all if you're using a unit that's been taken out by somebody previously and they might have changed around the settings. This way, every unit you're using starts the same. It'll all have the same default. So let's exit our menu. So what you'll have to do now is scan for a clear frequency. To do this, we're going to enter the menus and press set. We want to make our lives easy, so we're going to go to easy setup. There it is. Press set to enter the menu, and you have a new list of menus. You have scan new list, exit, reset list, current list. We want scan new list. What this is going to do is scan for a new frequency. Press yes there, and this is going to take a little while. It's going to scan for a new frequency. Normally takes about a minute. I'll just let this keep rolling. So once this is done scanning, it's going to tell you which bank it's selected and then how many free channels that you have. You can see it's going to choose bank 15, and then you have 12 free channels. Normally you just keep pressing set and you will select the same one. This is important because if you're using multiple of these, like 2, you'll want both of them to be set on bank 15 and choose one of the channels there to avoid intermodulation. So it's going to say 15.1, that frequency is 566.375 megahertz. We're going to press set, and it's going to store this frequency. Once we're here, we can exit our menus, press on off to exit the menus. And you'll notice you have this right now. It looks like we're picking up some interference from whatever's going on around us, which could be my computer or whatever. So at this point, we're going to turn our transmitter on. We're going to press on off to hold it on. We don't want the mute on. So you need to sync these up now. You'll notice that the frequencies in both of them are different. One says 566.375, and the other says 578.400 megahertz. And that's not what we want. They need to be synced up and talking to each other. So what we're going to do is take our receiver, enter the menus, go to sync, and it's going to give us this menu right here. And you notice these 2 little square plastic things here. Those are IR receivers. So these 2 will communicate with each other. And what I'm going to do now is hold them right over each other, like this. And you notice there's a little check mark that appeared in the sync there. And that indicates that both of these are synced and on the same frequency. If I can get the light right, there you go. You'll notice that it says 566.375 megahertz. That means we're good. All right, so at this point, you're going to take your wireless lavalier microphone and plug it into your transmitter. This is a 1/8" TRS plug. It'll plug right into here. And a lot of these will screw into place. You'll notice that it snaps in there, but there's this little kind of locking collar here. We're going to press that here and then thread it onto our threads on the transmitter. And what's going to happen is that's going to be nice and secure. It's not going to pop out. So now is a good time for you to check your gain and set the gain for your microphone for your wireless transmitter. You'll see you have a meter here that bounces up and down. And if I get too loud, what's going to happen is that AF peak LED is going to light up, and that's not what we want. So we're going to have to adjust the gain on this. To do that, we're going to enter the menu and look for sensitivity. So you press sensitivity, press set, and you'll be able to change this. So right now, it looks like -27 is a little too loud for when I'm talking loud and using my teacher voice. So what we're going to do is lower the gain a little bit by pressing down on the down arrow. I think -30 or -33 should be good for us. So we'll press set again, and it will change the gain setting to that, -33. And you notice that I can get loud now, my meter bounces around where it should be, and I'm not hitting this AF peak light. That's not lighting up. You'll want to set this correctly. I normally find that with most people, -30 to -27 normally works fairly well, but that's with these microphones, these Sanken COS 11s. Your experience may vary with different microphones, so keep that in mind. So at this point, our wireless is all set to go. And what we're going to do is take our receiver and make sure that that is hooked up to our mixer with this cable. There's an XLR cable, male end, and another TRS. That'll go in there. I'm going to lock this in. Some of the ones that you have at DFA don't lock in, so you have to be extra careful with them. And then this will be plugged into the mixer. Now, one thing I'm going to talk about before we're done is the audio coming out of here. You can set the level of it. Most of the time, you can find an AF out here. Most of the time, you want it to be at 0 dB, where right now it says it's at 0. And that's normally what you want. You don't want to be adding gain or taking gain away. But different equipment varies. So from this point, you would plug this into your mixer and then set the gain on your mixer, hopefully at line level. If not at line level, you might have to use a lower gain setting and add a little bit of gain through the preamp on the mixer, depending on what equipment you're using. Prosumer equipment does not always match the same standards as some other equipment. But if you do have to adjust the gain on here a little bit to get the best gain staging, you can go into here and give it a little bit more or take away a little bit. You're probably better off taking away a little bit if the signal's too loud, like for something like a DSLR camera, than adding something. Because if you're adding this, that's adding signal noise. So I'm going to keep that at 0 for now. And then you should be good to go. Once you hook this up to your mixer, just monitor your levels and keep in mind your signal flow, where it's starting at the microphone, going to the transmitter, from the transmitter it's going to the receiver, and from the receiver it's going to your mixer. So keep that in mind when troubleshooting issues. That's that. I expect you to sort of just go through, set that up. And I'll give you some more information talking about that in the interim. I'm about to leave for a trip to go away for the next day, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. So that's that.